I got into photography at the age of 15 or 16, and what happened was I was visiting a friend, and his father was a very keen photographer. He actually lectured in photography. And I was there on a Saturday, and the dad went into the darkroom, and I thought, you know, I want to see what happens there. And so I asked if I could go in and watch. And it was like magic to see the process of exposing the negative and then watching it suddenly appear out of the liquid. And I was hooked. I said, this is what I want to do. And so I started off, and I built my own darkroom. I actually made my own enlarger, and I had a very cheap camera. And I started a little advertising business. After I'd retired from advertising, we moved to the garden route. During that time, I decided I wanted to do my own photography for my ads and that. When digital era came in, especially in 2001, I bought my first digital camera. And because I knew a bit about computing, I found it was like a duck taking to water. And I loved it. So I moved on from there. I became involved with the Photographic Society of South Africa. I became involved with the camera clubs. I found that one of the things I enjoy doing is helping people. So I do a lot of lecturing. I do a lot of work at congresses and things like that. And that I enjoy. I enjoy sharing. Having joined camera clubs and being part of the Photographic Society of South Africa, I found I was pushed into different genres. And it's a nice thing because then you discover which is the type of photography you want to do. I tried everything. I've done birds, I've done wildlife, I've done landscape, I've done people, I've even photographed still lifes. But at the end of the day, my favorite is landscape because you're going to beautiful places. And I've traveled a bit overseas, but South Africa is incredible. And when you go and take a photograph, landscape photograph, it can change the same place, morning or afternoon, a different time of the year. And it just has so much magic and so much opportunity. So that is why I like landscape. But I like people because people tell a story, people are stories, and you try and capture that. But you don't only have to worry about stories in people. Everything tells a story, even a landscape tells a story. And I think this is a very important part of photography, is when you take a photograph, try and think of telling a story. I moved into a SLR camera, and slowly I went through various sizes of SLR camera until I ended up with a full frame SLR. We were traveling overseas to see family and things like that, and I was finding that the camera was becoming a little bit heavy, a little bit cumbersome. Every time we went away, I had to say, now which lenses am I going to take? I don't want to take the whole lot. Too many, too heavy. And then I was introduced to Fuji. I went to a function where they showed Fuji and demonstrated the cameras, and I thought, this is what I want. So when it comes to telling a story, the compactness and the ease of use of the Fuji is a great tool for telling a story. I like also the fact that the lenses are very high quality. Compared to the bigger lenses, the size of this lens is excellent. The other thing that I like doing is taking panorama photographs. And because the camera is light and easy to use, I don't use a tripod. Most often you're in a hurry, and I can shoot landscape panoramas handheld, taking one shot after the other, and they stitch together beautifully. So that is another thing I like about it. And of course, one of my favorite things about Fuji is doing time-lapse. I just love it. It's so easy to set up. You set it on a tripod, you work out what time frame you're going to have, how many seconds between each photograph, and you sit back and enjoy the scene while the camera is recording the movement of clouds or the movement of wind in trees or whatever. So I do quite a lot of that. Of course, the other thing is everybody is very keen on high dynamic range, very easy with Fuji. One always has to be careful of it being artificial, but somehow Fuji does a good job in conjunction with Lightroom, and I get to a point where the HDR is realistic rather than, you know, something you can see is HDR. And I've now moved from the XT1 to the XT2, And the movie facility on this is fantastic. I do a lot of audio visuals, and with audio visuals now I'm mixing stills and movie together. And this camera does it all. Take the still, do the movie, and then put it together as a story. And this is all built in. This camera has so many features built into it. In fact, I think that I've still got a lot to learn. I'm Chris Daly. As I said, I've been doing photography since the age of 16. It's become a passion for me. I enjoy everything about photography. And another thing I enjoy is being able to share my knowledge.